It's Lizzie Langston. So I just did a final session with a client. So I've been coaching for about 8 years. I used to work with just postpartum women. This is a breathing device, by the way, should you be wondering. Um, I just used to work with only postpartum women. And then gradually, I just kind of dropped any sense of like, this is who I am and this is what I do. And I said, universe, show me who I am. Show me what you want me to do. And so I just sort of, as long as it felt like a good fit for each of us, I started taking on, private clients that were not necessarily postpartum women. And that was this one. Her name's Kristen, and she has invited, now that we're done coaching together, I've invited her. She's invited me to interview her. No, I've invited her to come on Substack and talk about her incredible transformation. Because whether or not you want to hire a life coach or what, I just think it never gets old hearing about and feeling the energy of somebody who's just come through an ego death, um, and who had to really let go of parts of themselves in order to open themselves up to other parts of themselves. And I don't know, it's kind of like where you invest your money. If like, let's say you were an investor, you had a bunch of money and you were trying to put it in a portfolio and you would try a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I feel like that's a really healthy way to approach healing. Not to say it's bad to work with one person forever, but Kristen and I worked together for about a year, maybe a little more than that. And, she started out doing weekly sessions and then it gradually became 2 a month and then it was down to 1 a month. And she's just recently felt like she's in such a great place. She's manifested a whole new life for herself, but she had somebody to be with her in the hard in between liminal spaces of becoming. And she needed a lot of nervous system support, a lot of anxiety. And so I'm so excited. I will put it on the schedule. You will find out soon. We're going to schedule a time for me to just bring her to you guys and feel the fresh energy of somebody who really did walk through a challenging dark night of the soul, as it were, sort of. It was in some ways for her. In other ways, it was still fine and good. Um, but I'll never forget. I wanted to just share this nugget for now because even if you can't catch the replay or the recording, whatever, the interview. Words are hard. I'm very caffeinated. Proof. Proof. It was a cold brew. The cold brews, they get me a little woo. They're a little more caffeine than I probably need. But anyway, we were reminiscing today on our last session, right, with this client's, like I said, it's been over a year and she's in such a good place. So we were reminiscing about who she was when she first kind of was like, this lady, she knows things that I want to know, and she embodies a way of being and an energy that I want, which is, by the way, all is really required to be a coach or a mentor is just to have become in a way that somebody else sees and knows that's within me too, but I don't know how to get there. And so that was kind of how it all started is we met in a coffee shop. I was at a coffee shop, my favorite coffee shop. It's very cute and cozy and moody and so fun. It's called Bookish, in downtown Gilbert, Arizona. Anyway, we met in this coffee shop because I was there to be, I was going to go, I had a financial date with myself, which is pretty rare, but it really was what I wanted. I still am going through this program called Relaxed Money with Kate Northrup. Highly recommend it. I'm an affiliate. It opens every spring. So you'll hear me talk about it come like end of March next year. But anyway, so I was sitting there having a coffee date, and because I was, again, caffeinated in a coffee shop and having a blast just being by myself on Mother's Day for the gift that I wanted was just to have some downtime. She was sitting next to me, and she's this successful lawyer here in the Phoenix Valley, and we just had such a blast talking about traveling and all these things. And then I invited her to my networking event that I host two in-person women and non-binary leaders networking events each month through a larger organization called the Nova Global, and I run the Phoenix constellation, the Nova Phoenix. Anyway, so I was like, "Come to one of our events." We're both working professionals in the area. She came, and I came to our next one, and I just remember her. I remember I was sharing something because I lead the group, right? So I'm sharing stuff with everybody. Don't remember what I was even talking about, but I do remember. So I'm also a psychic medium. Okay, so I hear things, see things, feel things, and I just remember having a stream of consciousness and a sentence enter my mind that was not random. It was applicable to what I'd been saying, but it wasn't from within here. It was kind of like its own thing, and I don't typically tell much about my work that I do in this networking session setting. I mean, when it's my time to introduce myself, I will, but it was almost like I worked in just a little bit about some of the philosophy I teach as a coach and as a mentor for people in this meeting. And she was like, that resonated with me. I want to book a consult. So she books a consult. And yeah, it's been a year and we just wrapped up. So I'm going to bring her to you. I'm so excited. But the thing I wanted to share with you, your takeaway for today, if you want it, is on her consultation with me. I remember she was still having regular panic attacks and really struggling with anxiety. But it's like she didn't know how to get where she wanted to go or to be the person that she wanted to be, but she could sense it and feel some version, something like it in me. And that was enough. And I just wanted to put that out there that, whatever aspiration or pursuit that you have, just being able to glimpse it or even feel it, even if you can't visualize it, just feel it, that's enough. That's enough. The universe responds to true inherent desire. It's like a prayer. So, for those of us who don't have like a regular practice of praying, even just connecting with a desire that you have and feeling it as if it was real, that is a prayer. I have an episode on my Substack podcast, so the Kitchen and Cosmos like podcast feed, and it's called The Universe Has Better Taste Than Your Vision Board. And I had to learn that one time I was manifesting more financial stability and more fulfillment in my professional life. But I didn't really know exactly how that would come to be. I thought it would come to be through just stockpiling a bunch of cash. Like if I had more money, then I could buy an assistant to help me in my business, or I could just feel more financially stable. But what I actually ended up manifesting was enrolling in a financial nervous system course and just this mentor that came into my life and has very deeply impacted me financially, my safety around money, my stability around money. And then I also um, manifested a business partner who has brought so much financial support and stability energetically too in our relationship um, to my professional life. So you just never know what the universe has up its sleeve for you, but it's really not your business what the universe gives you or when, right? That's the ego wants to attach to the what and the when. It wants that control. That's how it feels relevant. But what's the most relevant to your future self and your life you're manifesting is actually just those feelings, those true, honest, innocent, playful, wondrous desires within us. That's all you actually need. Then you just go take action from that place. So, for example, before I manifested my business partner, one day in September, I think it was like September 19th, it would have been 2023. No, 2024 maybe. And I just was like, I think I want to tell people that I'm a medium. I'd had a dream 9 months earlier that invited me to tell people that was like, this is a gift, it's for the world. But it took me like a bunch of months to feel okay with that. And then I felt so good and safe in my system through this financial work I'd been doing on my nervous system that I was like, I'm just going to tell. There was like 1,000 women in this really safe Facebook community I was a part of. It was a paid community Facebook group and a spiritual women. And I was like, I'm just going to tell them. And then my now business partner booked a reading. She booked a few more. And on the last of that package, like we really just felt like the direction we were heading each professionally could come together. And we wanted that. And we explored that and throughout that summer. And then we ended up coming together. So this week is the Aquarius full moon in a couple days. This is the breathing device. Did I tell you that already? I'm like, it's new for me. I feel weird with it. So today is July 28th. I think it's July 30th or 31st. 30th, I think, is the Aquarius full moon. And full moons are for apparently releasing, but releasing in order to be able to receive more. And Aquarius is the sign of the visionary, the futurist, the one who wants to build a better world and could be a little quirky, could be a little out there, and but is definitely a genius or has a vision that's ahead of its time, but it's pushing humanity's edge and evolution forward, and your own and your family's maybe. And so as we approach the Aquarius full moon, which is on the cusp of the Lionsgate portal, which ancient Egypt used to spend like 2 weeks honoring this particular cosmic movement where it's like, I don't know the details, but it's like the sun and it's not a planet, but it's a something called Sirius. And anyway, the Lionsgate portal, I said this on Instagram today, but you could think of it as, my videos here are always so much better than Instagram. I don't know what it is. I just feel like my nervous system on Substack is like, it's just like the real quality people here. It's awesome. But anyway, the Lionsgate portal is essentially the universe being like, try me. Like, let me surprise you in the best way. So in the next couple weeks, kicking off with the full moon in a couple days, and then those next couple weeks, this is your time, folks. Not to just manifest your desires. Like, it's not all about, it's less about the ego wanting and having, and it's more about dropping into your soul. So the full moon is about clearing out all of that noise and sort of the programmed, like we've all been kind of programmed to want what we want a little bit. But underneath all of that is this clean, clear, sacred, innocent, probably pretty playful and maybe a little out there. Those desires, that's what I want you to really work on bringing up to the surface and holding out for the universe as an offering of, hey, if this is for my highest good, this is what I want. But be unattached to how it comes. That's the biggest thing that I wanted to say is be unattached, right? Like this client, Kristen, this amazing person who is now, in my circle forever, as far as I'm concerned. She probably didn't imagine hiring a coach. She just had this vision of some changes she wanted to make in her life. And then she met this person and this person knew some things and it just worked out that way, right? But that's how it works. And so just let go of the specifics, so phase one, get super clear on not just these desires, but these desires, like deep down in here. Then let go of the specifics and make sure you don't overshare with people who are not going to support your vision. Pick your people safely. And then you just take inspired action. And that might mean you need to let go of some plans, but the Lionsgate portal is such a great time to do that. Let this Aquarian energy of possibility and future lead the way for the next couple weeks. I'm excited for all of us, and I will be here bringing Kristen on to share her transformation story. So watch for that scheduled live video. That'll probably come either this week or next. And she has really, really, she did a lot of releasing when we first started working together. Then she sat in the void. And then, blink, like her reality started to pop with the people and the opportunities that were just right for what she wanted. So, the Universal Post Office is always open, but it's extra open for the next couple weeks with the Lionsgate portal. All right. So be in active communication. And if you need any other guidance or you just want a pal to talk with through that, comment, hit me up. Let's do it. All right. See ya.